Hi folks, and welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. This week we're going to tie my version of the Blue Flash Damsel. So without further ado, let's get into it. The hook and device then is a Hanak H280 barbless hook. This one's at size 8, it's on a medium wire and it's in black nickel. Now the thread I'm going to use initially is a Semperfli Nano silk. It's at 50D, which equates to 12/0. As you can see, it's white. And as always with the nano silks, I'm just going to add a little spot of super glue to the shank of the hook. This just helps adhere the silk to the shank. Does a lot better job than wax does initially. So I'll just get a bit of thread down. I'm going to come back to where the pronounced point bump is on the 280, and then I can come in with my snips and remove my waste. Now I always like to just make a little bump at the end here with my silk or thread. It just stops tail fouling when I'm using marabou, and the marabou I'm going to be using for the tail is Olivesque. This is a comp candy marabou, and I've got a feather here, and what I want to do is take approximately from my thumbnail to my thumb knuckle, and that'll be enough to create my tail. Now what I want to do is just remove the waste bits where I've ripped it away from the stem. I'm going to do that over my waste basket. Then I'm going to catch it in approximately ½ centimetre back from the eye of the hook, and I'll bring that all the way down to where I made the little bump with my silk. Just pull that out, see how it's looking. Then I'm going to come in, thumb and forefinger, and just pinch away the ends. Now I'm going to damp down the marabou by just wetting my thumb and forefinger in my left hand and streaking it back. Just makes it easier to work with. Now for the blue flash in the tail, I'm using some of this Semperfli material. Now it's not designed for this, but it makes a fantastic bit of flash. This is the Colorado mix, and it's like a blue blend. So if I can show up the strand to the camera as best I can, it's got blue running through it, but it's not all blue. As it moves in the water, these other colours will become much more prevalent. So initially when you see a photograph of the fly, it looks like blue, but it's got a lot more going on than you would think. So I'm going to bring that round, and I want to just keep it parallel with the shank of the hook as I'm tying it in, like so. Now I want my flash to come just beyond the tips of my marabou. Then I can damp that down as well to keep it all nice and neat and tidy. For the rib then, I'm using some Semperfli Mirage Tinsel. This is the iris blue, and it's 1/32 of an inch, or 0.8 millimeters if you're working in the metric system. So I've got a little bit taken off here, and I'm going to show up to the camera. I'm not sure how well you'll see it on the camera, but it's like got a hint of blue to it, hence the name Blue Flash. Everyone will have their favourite versions of this fly. If you fish small still waters, I'm sure you have got a variation of the Blue Flash Damsel. This is simply one that I've come up with that I've got a lot of confidence in. Now for the body, I'm using a custom dub. This is Troutstalkers. Andrew Ellis will pretty much whittle up whatever you like, and what he's done for me here is whittle up a natural fibre blended with a synthetic fibre, which gives it like a natural sparkly dub in here. And I've already got some in the clip, which would obviously indicate to you that I'm about to split the thread. So that's the beauty of working with the nano silks. It's very easy to split the silk to create a small dubbing loop in your thread. So I'm just going to open up my thread, offer up the material, trap it in there, then I'll just bring that up a little and I'll spin it up. Now it takes a little bit of time, so bear with me, but it will be trapped in there nice and tight. And the amount of dubbing is far too much for my needs. Now what I want to do is really keep it thick at the end where the bobbin is here, and try and thin it out a lot more at the base. So I'm really being quite savage with it near the fly, and then as I come up I'm being a little less harsh, and that'll achieve the body material that I want. Sorry, the body shape that I want. I want it to be a little bit tapered. I'm going to bring that up, and it's coming up. Looks quite nice. Fairly pleased with that. And that'll do nicely. A couple of turns just to keep it into place. Now, the next thing then is to get your dubbing brush and just tease out them fibres. Now what I want to do is, with my rib, I want to get at least 3 turns onto the body. So I'm just trying to pick my way through the fibres, which is quite difficult, obviously, and I'm not going to lose any sleep if I trap some in, because I'll be able to pick it out with a dubbing needle or a bit of Velcro brush. I'm going to bring that all the way to the front of the fly, and then simply catch that in with my silk. A couple of turns in front of the material to make sure that you don't get thread backing up on you, and then I can remove that. Now, as the materials are getting a little bit wild, if I just come in, damp down my thumb and forefinger in my left hand, it just keeps everything a little bit more in order. So that's looking pretty good. Now next I'm going to add 2 hackles to the front, and that's the reason I've left so much room at the front of the fly here. So the first one I'm going to do is some yellow partridge. It's not yellow partridge, it's partridge that's been dyed yellow. Now I'm not made of money, so I can't afford to buy lots of capes, but what I can do is get some of these select partridge hackles from Troutline, which are absolute superb quality, and I've got one here to show you, and they're all like that in the packet. Now what I want to do with mine is just catch in the material at the tip, like so. Yep, capes, when you start getting, if you're only tying for yourself, it's very difficult to justify spending 35 to 40 pound on a partridge cape that's been dyed yellow, when you can buy feathers that are readily being dyed for you. And this is how I do it. I think if you're a commercial tyer, you're going to get value for money out of cape. Now what I've done there is I've added a little bit of wax to my nano silk. I'm going to bring my thread back to where I want the hackle to begin. A couple of turns. I'm going to come in front of my tag. Then I can come in with my scissors and just remove that tag. Then I'm going to grab the stem with my hackle pliers. It's trying to escape me. And I'm going to bring it round like so. Now what I want to do is use my thumb and forefinger in my left hand just to ease them fibres back out the way. Sweep it back and use the whole feather if you can. I'm steadily coming forward, and there's me got to the end of that feather. I'm going to come, catch in the stalk with my thread. 3 turns, 2 or 3 turns will do the job. I can then take off my hackle pliers, sweep everything back 2 or 3 turns just to tidy up at the front here. And then carefully, and I say carefully because I have cut my thread on more times than I care to remember when coming in to remove the stock. So just be careful you don't catch your thread. That's looking not too bad. Okay, so next I'm going to add my second hackle again. It's dyed Partridge, and this one is olive. And I've got the feather out and ready. And once more, I'm going to use the hackle pliers just to catch the tip of the feather. Forgive my old eyes, take me a little bit of time. And we can sweep that back so we get a little Christmas tree there ready to tie in. So that's ready to go, and before I do so, I'm just going to wax up my Nano silk once more, bring in the tag and catch that into place. Now on this one, the tag's so small, I'm simply going to sweep it back with my thumb and forefinger, just catch it out of the way, and that's virtually gone. Next then, grab the stem. That one's not trying to escape me this time. And again, as we did with the yellow one, what I want to do is sweep the partridge back over the fly. It might seem a lot of effort to go to create this effect, but it's like my wife says when she's doing the Christmas tree, you've got to get the hard miles in. So what does that mean? Getting the inside of the tree decorated. I'm a bugger for just tying on the Christmas deck on the outside branches where folks see it. But she said if you don't do the depth, you don't get the effect with a Christmas tree. And well, she does it every year and always it ends up being quite nice. So I'll bow to her superior knowledge of Christmas tree decoration. Again, I've caught in all that. I'm going to just pick out the stem, and I see it's not alone. It's got some of the fluff in there, which I'm going to remove. Excuse my fingers as I carefully remove the stalk there, and that's looking not too bad. I might have got away actually with a longer tail, but I'm pretty pleased with that so far. Now that's me done with the Nano silk. So what I'm going to do is come in with my whip finish tool and just take that away. Now it's up to yourself what you want to do with the head. You can use glow bright, whatever you choose to finish off. I like a nice bright head, so what I'm going to use is some fluorescent orange. This is at 12 because I want to keep the head nice and small, and I'm going to catch that in right towards the eye of the hook, several turns at the eye, and then once more I can come in and remove the rat's tail. Just start building up that head. That's why I left so much room at the front. It's one of the biggest reason people fail to tie neat heads is because they've not left enough room on the hook to create that nice clean finish. If you just started leaving a little bit more room, you'll see your fly tying come on in leaps and bounds. Now I'm happy with the shape of the head. I'm going to come in with my whip finish tool and I'll just touch my scissors to that thread and it will come away. You can finish this a couple of different ways. You can use varnish or you can use resin. I'm going to use resin to get the old instant gratification. It's a little bit thick. It's been quite a cold night. I'm using Solaris Bone Dry, and sometimes because I have my tying room set up in my office now, it's not heated at night, the resin does go a little bit thick, and the way to correct that, if you like, is simply to put it in a short cup of boiling water, 3 or 4 minutes, and it's good to go. Now I have heard somebody say, oh, 2 or 3 seconds in the microwave works. I tried that and melted my brush, so I'll stick to the boiling water. And there we go. I can come in with a toothbrush just to open up them feathers, make the fly look nice. You can certainly give the head another coat of resin or varnish, and you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this damsel, why not check out Ronnie's damsel? It's an absolute killer and can be comp legal if you wish. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.